Right now, you want to be happy. You probably want it more than almost anything else. And if you asked most people what the whole point of being human is, they would say something like, to be happy, to feel good, to find peace. But here is the problem. Your brain does not want that for you. Not even a little. Your brain was built for something else entirely. Something older, something darker. And the moment you understand what it was actually designed to do, the reason you feel restless and anxious and never quite satisfied will suddenly make complete sense. Let's go back. Way back. Around 2.5 million years ago, the earliest members of your genus, Homo, began walking the savannas of East Africa. The world they lived in was not gentle. Predators moved in the dark. Rival groups competed for food and territory. A single bad decision could end everything. The brain that survived was not the one that felt good. It was the one that never stopped scanning, never stopped worrying, never stopped asking, what's wrong? What's missing? What's coming next? That brain is yours. Neuroscientist Rick Hansen, who spent decades studying the evolutionary roots of the human mind, coined the phrase the negativity bias to describe what he found. Your brain, he explains, is like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. A threat sticks. A reward slides off. You feel a sharp insult for hours. A compliment. Gone by lunch. This is not a flaw. It was a survival feature. The ancestors who lingered too long on good feelings were the ones who didn't notice the snake. You are descended from the anxious ones, the vigilant ones. Evolution did not select for contentment. It selected for paranoia. And after millions of years of that selection, paranoia is now the factory default setting of your mind. But here's where it gets stranger. Your brain doesn't just scan for threats from the outside. It also constantly evaluates your position inside your group. Because for most of human history, being rejected by your tribe wasn't just awkward. It was a death sentence. No tribe meant no food, no protection, no chance of survival. So your brain evolved to monitor social status with terrifying precision. It watches how others look at you. It replays conversations to find hidden meaning. And in a world of social media and perfectly curated lives, that same wiring runs absolutely haywire. You scroll. You compare. Your brain decides you are falling behind. A small alarm fires. You feel vaguely bad without knowing why. Now layer on top of this what researchers call the hedonic treadmill. You want something. A new job, a relationship, more money. Your brain lights up with dopamine, the chemical of anticipation. You chase it. You get it. And for a brief moment, there is satisfaction. Real, genuine, warm satisfaction. But then the brain recalibrates. The new becomes normal. The good thing you fought for becomes the floor you stand on. And then your brain starts scanning again. What's next? What's still missing? Psychologist Philip Brickman first documented this in 1978 in a now famous study comparing lottery winners to people who had suffered serious accidents. He found something almost impossible to believe. Within a year, both groups returned to roughly the same baseline happiness they had before their life changed. The lottery winners were not significantly happier. The accident survivors were not significantly sadder. The brain always finds its way back to neutral, not because life evens out, but because the brain recalibrates around whatever it currently has and then immediately looks for what it doesn't. You were not built to stay satisfied. You were built to want more. And this made perfect sense on a savanna. The drive to always feel a small undercurrent of not enough kept your ancestors moving, working, surviving. But you are not on a savanna. You are in a world of abundance where the next dopamine hit is always one click away. And your ancient brain has no idea what to do with that. So it does what it always did. It chases. It gets. It resets. It chases again. This is also why happiness, when you try to chase it directly, tends to disappear. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman, who won the Nobel Prize for his work on human judgment and happiness, found that you don't add up pleasant moments into a sum of happiness. Instead, your memory applies what he called the peak end rule. You remember the most intense moment of an experience and the final moment. Everything in between gets compressed, averaged, forgotten. So a vacation could be wonderful for 6 days and slightly disappointing on the last. And what you'll remember most is the ending, not the 6 days. The ending. Your brain is not keeping an accurate record of your happiness. It is writing a story, and it tends to write that story with a bias toward what went wrong. There is one more layer to this, something even deeper. Evolutionary psychologists call it mental time travel. You are the only species on Earth that can fully simulate a future that doesn't exist yet. You can imagine a version of yourself that is thinner, richer, more loved, more admired, and your brain responds to that vision emotionally. But you can also imagine a future where everything goes wrong, and your brain cannot fully tell the difference between a vividly imagined catastrophe and a real one. The same stress hormones fire, the same alarm bells ring. You can make yourself miserable about something that has never happened, and your brain will react as if it is already in the room. No other animal lives this way. A lion does not lie awake worrying about next year. A whale does not catastrophize about its reputation. Only you carry the future around like a weight, wearing yourself down with scenarios that exist only in your own skull. Maybe it helps to know this is not weakness. It is not a failure of discipline or positivity or gratitude. It is engineering. You are running ancient survival software in a modern world, and the mismatch was never going to be comfortable. Hansen's research suggests that deliberately noticing good experiences and holding them longer actually begins to reshape neural pathways over time. Kahneman's work shows that experiences which create meaning stick better than experiences that simply feel good. And Brickman's hedonic treadmill, when you understand it clearly, stops being a trap and starts being a map. If you know the brain always resets, you stop betting all your happiness on the next destination. You start paying attention to the walk. And maybe now you know why that's so hard. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your brain was never built for happiness. It was built for survival. And for millions of years, that was enough.